Hi, lifers, and welcome to another episode of Because Life Can Be a Niche podcast. I am so excited to have you guys in the living room doing life with us once again. We are here. We're talking about pandemic revelations. The conversation just keeps going and going. So if you've been listening these past few weeks, then you know that that's the series that we're in, and we have so much to talk about. And I'm excited, doubly excited once again, because last week I had my first guest. Y'all, I got another guest. It's guest number 2, and I'm so excited about that. But let's get the other stuff out the way so I can tell you about this powerful woman you are going to enjoy hearing from. But before we get into that, let's do the regular stuff. If you're listening and you're wherever you get your podcast and you're not watching on the YouTube channel, but you're listening, please be sure to share and keep subscribing, and check us out on the YouTube channel, because a video of this podcast is actually on our YouTube channel. Life Can Be a Niche. You all know what I always say. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're on social media, get at me at Katie Bryant Writes. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's at Katie Bryant Writes. And I'm actually diligently writing my blog again, because y'all know I had gotten slack. That's Life Unfolding at KatieBryantWrites.com. Check the blog out. We always have something cool and fun there. And occasionally when I get a wild hair, or when I get more consistent, I'll have a Farmhouse Fridays. I've got some in the hopper for you that I'm going to be coming out with. So be waiting for lasagna, because lasagna is coming next. It's kind of getting to be fall time. It's the perfect time to go ahead and hit y'all with that. So make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you know when we drop videos, because that's where Farmhouse Fridays will be. As always, our tea of the episode, and I y'all know, as it's not a teacup, but it's my cup. It's the Because Life Can Be a Niche cup, and the tea of the episode is jasmine. And I know we've had this tea before, and I'm having it again because I'm in a jasmine kind of mood. It's kind of like I drink teas according to how I'm feeling, and it's getting to be a little bit cool. Summer's almost about to go away, and jasmine tea is one of my favorite fall go-to teas. So that is the tea of the episode, but I'm putting that down so I can go ahead and get in with what we're talking about. Pandemic revelations. We've talked about love. We've talked about purpose. We've talked about a pandemic birth. We've talked about self-care during a pandemic. And now I have my wonderful friend and just a dear, sweet lady, love her to death, have Davita Ferrell here with us. And she is just, I'm going to let her introduce herself first of all, but I got to just set up who she is to me. And I call her Vita because I know her as Vita, but it's Davita. So that's how you may see her name in the business world. But she is a beauty entrepreneur, mogul, a God's girl, an anointed sister. And we met because I got my lashes hooked up, and I believe a few times my hair beat, if I'm not mistaken. But this lady right here, when I say Inner Blink Lashes, because that's the name of her business, that's the name of her line, her product line. I don't have my lashes on now because y'all know I've been sheltering in place. So I hadn't seen my girl in a minute, but I'm coming back, Vita. But I got to drop some pictures in so people can see these lashes how you hooked it up. But we met by me going to her for that. But from the moment we started talking, in the first 5 minutes, we had a connection, a spiritual connection that was unlike any other. This lady is so, talking about business minded and a blessing, and just uses her business not only to serve and to provide services for beauty, but also to bring out the internal beauty in you and speak life over all of her clients. Just the way she moves is just so different from any other person that I have met. And I have just seen her launch from running a lash business to expanding to another location, to going into her lip gloss line, the all natural products too, y'all. I'm talking about just one thing after another. And it's just a blessing to have her here with us, because we're talking in the Pandemic Revelations conversation about singlehood and embracing our singlehood, especially during this pandemic. But we ain't gonna get into that yet. We gotta let Vita introduce herself. I just had to set it up.
That was an amazing setup. I don't know, like, I'm trying not to mess up my lashes and cry over here on my side. I don't know what else I can say to elaborate on that heartfelt welcome. I'm just glad to be here again. Like Katie said, my name is Davita Ferrell. I do go by Vita, which I've gone by forever, but Davita is my given name. I am the owner and operator of Blink Eyelash Extensions. I'm a master cosmetologist. I'm a hairstylist. My companies have expanded and grown into service, not only just services, but products, as well as my own line of eyelash extensions, lip gloss, different cosmetics products that are all organic and home-based and handmade as well. And I'm not actually limited to the beauty industry, because in my mind, beauty and fashion go together. Everything is like linked. So I recently relaunched my new brand called Prima Donna Culture, and it is a women's clothing line for women, things that are unique, things that you may not be able to find in the regular department store. And it's just another extension of an expression of who I am. And because women, if they look good, they feel good. And that's just not limited to hair and makeup, but that's also the way you dress and present yourself to the world. And it's just a form of self-expression. And I just want every woman to feel comfortable, no matter what your style is, that you are rocking that. Because when you're rocking that, you're ruling the world. So thank you for having me, Katie. And I'm just glad to be here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And you are right. And I forgot about the clothing. I've got some pieces. Y'all, I'm gonna have to rock some on Instagram and take some pictures and show y'all some of them.
Oh, I got something for you now.
Uh-oh. I know what I got is very unique and quite sexy and flattering and beautiful, and still, not revealing too much, but just enough so you feel like, okay, yeah, just womanly stuff, girl. Yes, I'm gonna have to roll by there, but anyway.
Look, I send you something. I got you.
Hook me up, girl. Hook me up. Look, ain't nobody gonna see it but the plants, but that's okay.
Oh, that's quite all right. A nice garden shoot would look beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. I know that's right. So now, you guys, Vita and I were talking, and we've had conversations about our faith and about our walk and our purpose from day one. I know, and we have walked through some seasons together. Both of us have gone through so much together, sometimes in parallel almost, with loss and where we are now. And we started talking just last night about, singlehood and purpose. And we were actually talking about her business, because I was like, well, girl, what you got going on now? Because, you're always working. And I remember you saying, I'm up early, like 3 a.m. early, because God is just calling me, and he's pushing me and pushing me. And we were talking about all of the things that he's pushed you into. But in that, we talked about embracing singlehood as we push into, or are pushed into, our purpose. And both of us are in the single ladies club right now, me by way of divorce. And so I've been married before, but I'm single now.
Same.
So we're in that singlehood moment now. And through this pandemic, when we talk about how we saw this not only as a virus and something that's happening in the world, we saw the spiritual prompts and the spiritual purpose in this global timeout too, and how that and what we're being called to do and how we seek God for that has really come forth. But you said something beautiful that I want you to just go and let the people have it, about embracing singlehood and embracing this time, but not only this time with God, but this time as a single lady or even single man, because I think what you said applies both on both sides, but especially what you share. So I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay. You know, you got Katie. What did I share? You
But
know, the conversation just kind of started with, you know, embracing being single. I think so many times that I'm definitely guilty of this. We spend so much of our life and our time pursuing a relationship as opposed to pursuing a purpose. And we miss out on the purpose of being single, because we get into this mode at about, most people about 18 years old. Realistically, before we're 18, we're kind of molded into relating, being relational, cohabitating with another individual, creating a family, having children, getting married. However, when we reach the age about 18 and we're out of high school, the majority of us go on this search to be partnered up, as opposed to going on a search to find out, like, okay, I'm officially an adult. What is my life going to look like? How, you know, what type of life do I want to live outside of a partner? Like individually, we put more focus on a unit, us and another individual, as opposed to me, myself, and I. Like, okay, what do I have to offer the world? You know, what are my gifts? What are my talents? What do I like doing? And until you learn, and we don't know ourselves. So if you don't know who you are, how you gonna, you know, hook up with somebody else and expect to be married to 10 years, not 20, 30, 40. You think you're going to make it 10 years. You know nothing of yourself. How can you know if you in a relationship? The most important thing is to know who you are, to know what you require and what you require of the other person. But if you don't know who you are, how can you even ask for what you want? How can you know what works for you? And the single time is the testing phase. So y'all going into the testing phase, you know, you want to test out a marriage, you want to test out a boyfriend, you want to test out your baby daddy, but then you have these products, you know, these war wounds from the testing phase. You should have tested out by yourself. You know, do I want to, you know, move to LA? Do I want to live in Atlanta? Do I want to live in Chicago? You know, do I actually like this job? Oh, I'm just doing this, you know, to pay the bills. Do I have a dream? Do I have a vision? You're underdeveloped. And when you're underdeveloped and you mate with another individual, he or she was the best person for you at that time. However, when you get into that relationship and then you like, okay, well, now I want to pursue my purpose, because you feel like you have the support that you thought that you needed, that you really don't need, because God's giving you everything on the inside of you in the first place. Then your partner looking at you like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't. Girl, what you talking about? You better go down in that job. You talking about quitting your job and starting your own business? They pay you good. You got benefits. So I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for no struggle. You know, I didn't sign up for you working all night and me not having no quality time. You know, so we don't reveal who we truly are until we have settled into this relationship. So you're presenting a false sense of self because you're not really tapping into your authenticities, your God-given purpose, and the person that you end up with. You wonder why there's tension there, because you weren't true to yourself in the first place. You didn't take time to find out who you were. You attracted a person who was a temporary version of you in that moment. And now you want to build something long term and grow and develop into who God has called you to be. And it's not working. Right. So if we really authentically take the time to be single, and just the place that I am in right now in this moment, after trial and error, I have recognized that, really maximize the moment, take advantage of the moment. Because when you are in a relationship, your relationship should be a priority. And how can it be a priority? Once you have your goals established, your career established, your job established, and you have this routine, then you meet the person. He sees you working in your purpose. Like, what was it? I misquote the scripture. When she was working in the vineyard and the king noticed her.
Yes. Boaz.
Yes. Yes. So Boaz noticed her because she was working in the vineyard. Now the significance about it is she was working. She was not.
Right.
She was not. Look, I'm gonna pause. She was working because I don't want to go down that track. But she was working, and he noticed something in her. Number one, she had a work ethic, and when you are working in your purpose, and a person sees that in you, they are not going to sabotage it or disrupt it, because you have established that this is a part of who I am, and this is my life, and this is how I move.
That's right.
Yeah, so that is a very important part of being single, exploring who you are, working your purpose, working your path, and just not worrying about, having, partnering with somebody in that moment. Because in life, whatever opportunities you're allotted, if you maximize them, they will grow and develop into another opportunity, and into another opportunity, and into another opportunity. And and there's one in that mixture, in that process, your mate is there. Your mate is there. So you just have to just roll with it. And
yeah, you say that, Vita, and I know we talked about this, because you say, we've both been married. We were both married for a very long time. And but you've always had this spirit of this entrepreneurial spirit. Would you say, to the ladies, it doesn't matter whether you're young or old, because this applies. If you're in a moment of singlehood, this applies. Even if you're married, this applies, because it does allow you to kind of step back, check where you are and how you're feeling, so that you can evaluate what's causing, if you are feeling frustrated or feel like you're not being heard, or you feel like you lost into the sea of being a mom and a wife and everything else. You feel like you're drowning, and you're just you're kind of trying to come up for air. Do you see that? You said that you were married before. Do you see did you realize in your first relationship, like, okay, I'm ready to grow into this, I'm ready to get this business going? Is that when it hit you then that, hey, maybe you weren't really fully walking in your purpose, or you were keeping it to yourself because you were happy in marriage?
I kept it to myself. And this is something that a lot of women do. We suppress. We put on this facade, and also the reason why I kept it to this is the main reason why I kept it to myself. I always knew, I've always had this grandiose vision of my life, what I wanted, where I wanted to go, and what I wanted to be. the environment that I was raised in said to me that that's not profitable. Your skin is too dark. You know, you should take another path. You know, you should just get married, because that's what married women do. And we have to understand now that it's 2020, but the generation, not too many generations before us, as women, we were taught that our goal in life was to marry and to have children, and not also that the ultimate prize was to be a great wife, to be a great mother. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. Mm-hmm. And I think that because of limiting beliefs on the generations before us, they were not, certain parents did not encourage, especially young women, to pursue a career, you know, entrepreneurship and owning your business, or even being a CEO was set aside for men. A lot of things were traditionally set aside for men. Mm-hmm. Just in the 60s, the majority of women did not even work.
That's true.
You know, so you're going against and even though you may see a few women as time sprinkled on doing different things, it was not as accepted as it is today. Like today, there's this whole big boss babe culture, and that wasn't the case back then. So here I am, and I know that this is not a life that I actually want to pursue. However, this is the life because of my religion, because of the way that I was raised, that I felt like, okay, you grow up, you get married, and you know, you may go to college, but you know, your goal is to, like, you should want to be a mom. And I just found that in my heart, I knew that was not what fulfilled me. But because I was an insecure person and I didn't trust that voice on the inside of me, just because of lack of development and age played a part in it, I'm like, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I doubted myself, because I always knew, but I suppressed my inner voice. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's not even what I want. But because that's what people tell you, you know, what you should do and who you should be. And it's like, well, maybe I got it wrong, you know, but in the process of going through the motions, in the process of being married and seeing what the average marriage consists of, I really found myself, and I had the courage to say, if this is what this is about, you know, I just didn't receive the fulfillment that people told me I should receive from a marriage. Do I want to be married again? Yes. Will I be married again? Yes. Is there a man divinely created for me? Yes. However, because I'm a different type of individual, he has to be the type of person who understands me and doesn't try to create me into being this traditional mom who bakes cookies. Like, you know, that ain't me.
Right. Yeah, hey, I'll mix you up some of this new lip gloss.
Right. Look here, baby, put this on. Right. You know, but yeah, so I in having that experience, I found myself and I found my voice, and I was like, because I was so unhappy, not necessarily with the individual, I was unhappy with myself. I was denying myself. And a lot of times as women, we ask permission to be. We ask permission to explore. We ask permission to grow. We ask permission to grow. And when I say ask permission from our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our friends, because we feel like we have to be affirmed. But your creation, your existence is affirmation in itself. And I got everything I need on the inside of me. You don't have to approve. You don't, and as women, we're created and we believe that we are less than or a weaker vessel, when in actuality we're not. And there's this misconception that we need all this support around us to hold us up. When, you know, when you connect it, like that's way more than you will ever have. So when you come into it's really self-awareness. You know, in the Bible, they speak of coming into the knowledge of Christ, meaning that he who comes unto God must believe that God is, and that he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So when you come into the knowledge of Christ, you come into the knowledge of who you are. And if you were created by him, you know, as an individual first, then you got everything you need. He made me this way. This is who I am. And I'm this person unapologetically. And if it doesn't agree or coincide with your box or your vision of who you think that I should be, right, who are you to question what God created? Honey, I'm a creation of the Father. Like, right. And that's how you have to move. That's how you, but it takes time. Mm-hmm. It takes time, and it takes, you know, for some of us, it's a journey. It is a process to self, right? To self, and a self-awareness and a self-acceptance, and that's what self-love really authentically is. It is just accepting that this is the shell that I reside in while I'm present on this planet, right? And that you know, if I needed something else to pursue the purpose, that small voice that's telling me, go here, go left, go right. You should do this. You should write this. You should, you know, start this. Have you ever thought about that? That thing that you do for free, that thing that comes naturally to you, that you do so well. You know, if you needed anything else to pursue it, it would have been given to you. So stop comparing yourself to everybody else, judging yourself by the parameters or the other people, what they feel like you should do, be, and look like, and just go for it. Just go for it.
That is sage advice. And I think that's the perfect segue into where you are now. Because we talked about, you know, how you were in your marriage before and what you were feeling like you were being drawn towards. And now that you are in your singleness, I've seen you just from the day we started talking, I've seen you just grow from this to brick and mortar, y'all. I'm talking about brick and mortar business where you got keys to a location and then going and opening another location. Really right at the beginning of the pandemic, you know, you talked about how God kept you even through the pandemic, where so many service providers, it's in the beauty industry, you know, whether it was hair, makeup, or fashion, whatever, people stopped going to have lashes done. People stopped going to have these things done, but your business has grown.
Yes, I think that you have to be, I've heard this statement lately called pivot to profit. You have to be the type of individual, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be in business for yourself, you have to be resourceful. And this is about being in connection with who you really are. And, you know, prayer. It worked, y'all. Yeah. I know y'all don't want to believe that, you know, Christianity, we ain't talking about that. I'm talking, honey, look, I need some help. I don't understand, like, what should I do? And I think that, number one, you have to be humble enough to ask for help. And number two, you have to have something in you that say, okay, I don't have the answer to this, but I know this. So it's like, okay, I do not have the cure for COVID. Okay, stuff is shutting down. Okay, go through the facts. Okay, these are the facts. This is what's happening. But here's what I do know. I know that people are still calling me for services. Okay, so I transitioned into house calls. During this time. Okay, well, no one is actually, although my business has closed, I'm transitioning into house calls. I am used to making a certain income, and I always am looking to grow, so I'm like, okay, well, what? Oh, everybody at home on the internet, this would be a great time to introduce the new product, like things that you've been working on. And let me go back and reiterate about being in connection and being in alignment, walking on your path, being in purpose. Last year, I have been developing my own lash line, my own product line.
Yes.
For a while. And I had been slowly curating things, getting things together, doing my products, doing my packaging, going back and forth, stock and inventory. I have been in a slow process of building this while I was working. Now, let me say to everyone out there listening, just because, yes, I have my own business. Yes, I'm a service provider. Yes, I do hair and lashes. However, just because you have one business with one stream of income, you gotta have more. Mm-hmm. So you always have to be in that mindset of, okay, how can I earn more money? Because you work for yourself. So in that, you have to say, if this closes today, or if I can't make money, which happened, doing services, what other ways I can make money? And I started to think like that a year before that happened. So when the pandemic hit, I already had 2 websites that were set up, and slowly launching my product. Had I been a person who said, oh, this is not going the way I want, I'm not making money like that out the gate. But I slowly worked at it, kept the website up, even though, a lot of times people want to cut their losses because it's a monthly bill, kept the inventory, kept things going, and just kept it active. When pandemic hit, I said, okay, what do I have? And then consistently, like, okay, I got a whole bunch of inventory over here. Let's do some marketing. Let's do some advertising. People are at home. People are on social media. Let me be more active on social media, which is not my strongest asset. It's not my thing. But however, I'm like, well, people at home, they bored. They locked in the house. And I don't know about you, but just like every other woman, I shops when I need, we shopping. we at home, we clicking and filling up that cart, scrolling. We got about 4 open pages with 3 different websites, and carts is just full, so, we're entertaining ourselves in that matter. What a perfect time to get more visibility. What a perfect time to expand. What a perfect time to launch a new product that you have been working on. And the very interesting thing is that I attempted or in my mind planned that, okay, stuff is shutting down. Like, oh, I can do this. I can start working on my video content because I'll have more time now. Girl, please. Like,
right.
I worked more in the pandemic than I worked without the pandemic.
Yes, you have.
So I think you have to be open-minded. You got to have a positive attitude. That's number one. You have to have a positive attitude. You cannot give up. You cannot listen to the external voices, and then you also got to shut up that negative internal voice that's on the inside of you. That I don't watch the news. There are things that I just don't take in that I know are going to inhibit me from moving forward. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we say guard your spirit. That's something that you have to really, as an entrepreneur, as a key to success, that you really have to implement. Because if you listening to the Dow Jones, if you listen to the stock market, right, and you like, well, I'm just a small business owner, like I'm just trying to make a couple $1,000 a month. And if the stocks is down by 50%, I can't make nothing. Yes, you can. Because during the pandemic, what Instacart doing? Everybody getting groceries delivered to their house. Uber Eats blowing up. Grubhub blowing up. Amazon going through the roof. So there are businesses who are embracing it, a crisis, and pivoting to say, okay, well, how can I better serve people during this time? There's always something that can be done. There's always, but you can't be stagnant. I told myself, when I was 15, let's say 15, I knew that I wanted to be a hairstylist. And I told myself that I wouldn't be the old lady hairstylist. The old lady that your mama take you to. Like, look, we get pressing curls, okay, on our side of the fence, in our fence. So she would be the old lady, with the cankles, standing behind the chair. They will give you them tight pressing curls, and you go to school looking like you from 1920, and you're like, Ma, stop taking me to your hairstylist. I want the young, the hip. I want what she got. I want the color. I want the bob. I want, so I have vowed to myself that I wouldn't be the old lady hairstylist. But that meant that I had to keep up with current trends. I had to stay on point. I had to make sure that I keep up and keep my skills fresh and sharp so that I could be flexible enough that when the inevitable happens, which is change is coming from us all, for us all, that you are flexible enough that you're not married to one particular technique, situation, outcome, building, relationship, that when change happens, you can't be flexible enough to flow with it. And I think that has really that's really helped me, because number one, I like to be challenged and I get bored easily. So that has been a benefit to being an entrepreneur, because it gives me flexibility, because I don't really have some things. It's like, some things I held on too long, possibly, but in the big grand scheme of things, you have to be flexible and just kind of flow and change with it. And that in turn brings forth revenue.
Right. That I agree. And you said something I want to go back to. You said it's about being connected and staying connected during this pandemic time. How has, because you've always been connected. I mean, we met 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I don't know how long ago it was.
I don't know how long ago.
You've always had that connection. I recognize that. But during this pandemic, how has that connection, what changed for you?
It's just gotten stronger. Like, okay, if I go back throughout my history and I was raised in church, and we was the family. My mama and daddy took us to church on Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. Okay. I was in children's church. We sang in the choir. And just that, having that foundation and always seeking God in all that I do, no matter what I've done. I am nowhere near perfect, but I am imperfect enough to realize that I'm loved and accepted, and to know, like, I ain't no fool now. When stuff hit the fan, I know who to call. It's like when your water main break, you call the plumber. If your internet go out, you call Comcast or whoever your internet provider is. I know who to run to in the time of when things are out of control. I go within. I go to God. I strengthen. You just have to stay connected. If you're hungry, you go where they got the buffet. Okay, so you know, if you starving, you gonna stay close to that buffet to make sure, you know, when they bring the new hot platters out,
Right.
when they bring that big thing of chicken. Okay, if you want you standing there waiting. So just being connected and staying. So in the midst of all of this, I knew that I needed to because the world was seemingly out of control. This is unexpected. People are fearful. People are losing their lives. They're losing family members. They're losing jobs. Things are very chaotic. Things are being shaken up and changed. So in the midst of all of that, it's like I have to stay centered and focused. Like they say, keep your eyes on the prize. And I know where my help come from. I don't know where your help come from. My help come from the Lord.
Yes, man.
So since I know that, then okay, I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's pray. You know, and in praying, it's like, and when I say let's pray, y'all, you ain't got to go and do this whole ritual thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, you could be in your bathroom, you could be in your car, and just the acknowledgement of saying, Lord, I don't even know if you hear me. I don't even know if you're out there. They say this Jesus thing work. Okay. That's what they say. I don't know. But I need some help. I don't understand what's happening. You know, be transparent. I'm fearful. And for me, I'm like, okay, I work for myself. I got to make money every day. Right. Okay, I have to make money every day. You know, and I'm like, it's me and you because this all we got. Right. You know, so we got to work this thing out. You gonna help me out? What we doing here? Yeah. You know, so just being so in that I did what I learned as a child. I did what I know how to do. So when things, like I said, people are losing their lives. So with the pandemic, things have been accelerated or elevated to a level of chaos that we don't normally see in our everyday lives, right? Okay. So that meant for me that I have to elevate my spiritual life to a level to match the level of chaos that's happening. That's right. Okay. So that meant for me personally that, okay, if I was praying once a week or once a month, I got to pray every day. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, wait a minute. Pandemic. No, we're going to do it in the morning. And I don't care for 2 minutes. Right. Acknowledging the presence of the Lord will change your life. 2 minutes. 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening. It'll change your life. Right. And, you know, I'm like, okay, well, let me turn it up. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to pray and I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to be consistent in my prayer life. Not only am I going to be consistent in my prayer life, you know, I am actually going to fast. I'm going to fast. I'm going, and hear me when I say fasting is just taking away something that you enjoy. You know, right. I love chicken wings. Like we love food. Okay. So, you know, and when traditionally fasting is fasting from food, but you can fast from TV. You can fast from your cell phone. You can fast from Instagram. The things that have a tendency to distract us and take our focus off of what's really important, which is our connection with God. And to recenter us so we can really hear what God is saying. Right. So we can really hear, because if you get in alignment and you can really hear, you don't worry about what's going on in the world, because if the Bible says, I will never leave you and forsake you and I'll be there to the end, then you like, okay, 10,000 shall fall at the side, 1,000 at the right hand, but it shall not come near you. Now, I'm not talking about being unwise or foolish and, you know, being all out. You know, that's right. Yeah. That's right. You know, yeah. All out in the elements, you know, wilding out, you know, you like, or you at the club doing hookah, and it's like 100 people around, ain't no mask, ain't no nothing. Look, and you like, oh, Jesus, no hand sanitizer. He gonna take care of me. Like, girl, if you don't go on in the house, right? Use some wisdom. But this is what I'm saying. So you have to believe that you're here for a purpose, you're safe, you're guarded, you're loved, and you don't move in fear. You know, God hasn't given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And if you're not operating in power, your personal power, if you're not operating in love and kindness and gratitude, and if you tripping, you kicking the dog, you cussing out the kids, you done married that man, and the pandemic come and you can't stand him, and you ready to get a divorce. Y'all been in the house for 30 days together, and you can't. Y'all in the house for 30 days, and you ready for a divorce because you can't stand. You tired of looking at him. I thought he was the one. I thought that was your boo. Okay,
right, yeah.
If you don't have power, love, and a sound mind, you need to go back to the drawing board, refocus. So what I did was I prayed more, I fasted more. You know, as they say in Eastern culture, get grounded, ground yourself. You know, and know that if you are still here, if your eyes open this morning, yes, you got purpose. You still have work to do. You still have work to do. And if you focus on your purpose, if you focus on your work, if you're focused on your calling, girl, you like pandemic, like I don't even have time to sit down and see what the numbers are, because I'm doing product development, I'm doing clients, I'm doing photos,
videos,
I'm shooting videos, we doing podcasts, we writing books, you know,
everything.
So for all of y'all out there who was complaining, talking about I ain't got no time to start my business, you done had a whole how many months to start your business? And then let me say 6 months, and then y'all getting checks, y'all getting unemployment. So you sitting at home and getting paid, and you can't produce anything outside of that. Like, you're sitting at home, you're getting paid. Okay, your kids getting on the, you had them kids. Your husband getting on it, that's your husband. If you don't go in the closet, so your closet is two things: your working closet and your prayer closet. It's the same place. Go in the corner and figure out what you need to do with your life, because you don't like your job. No way. How can you be anxious? So many people are having anxiety and depression over this pandemic. You don't like that job? No. Cause y'all been coming in my chair complaining about that job for the past couple years. You don't like your job? No way. So now you're getting paid for 6 months and you can't figure out a way to get out of your job.
I was about to say, you sitting there, you hear, because you get a bird's eye view of what people are saying when they come to your shop. They're telling you what it feels like, and you're right. People coming in there complaining.
So stop the complaining. Go in and ask God what he wants you to do. And a lot of times y'all already know you done had it's just an idea. Whatever idea. I don't care if you want to develop a new Q-tip, if you want to make earrings, if you knit socks, okay, and you knit socks, and that's what you do, and you your color coordination, everything that you do, that you have been, it's a gift. Don't downplay. If you bake cookies and everybody love your cookies, sell them cookies.
That's right.
If you decorate, go decorate. I mean, honestly, office decoration during the time of pandemic, you know how much money you can make going in and decorating people's offices because they're working from home now?
Yes.
Do you know what you can do? Yeah. And put it all online. Get your Instagram, and all the free resources we have. The free account.
Free resources.
So, yes. So this is basically the gist of this is party people in the place to be. Take advantage of your resources. Yeah. If you want to be a real entrepreneur, you have to take advantage of every free resource, and you have to follow divine inspiration. Period.
That's beautiful. I think that gets us to this point, you know, where it really puts a bow on it. But I want you to go just for a moment into your calling because we talked about this, because you shared with me, and I knew it, you didn't have to tell me, but you shared with me that God allowed you or has given you the gift of being a beauty consultant and entrepreneur, because you just said it, people talk to you. But you also speak into people's spirits. You've spoken into mine. You told me when I was telling you about, girl, I'm trying to finish this play. Girl, I this podcast on my heart. And you started speaking life over me. Like, I see it. You know, because God uses you to speak to your clients. So it's not just about you having a business or you having clients. Can you share that with the people, because that's what's so beautiful.
You know, I will. And this is about having your own unique vision and really being who God called you to be. Because a lot of times, if we are spiritual people, we move in the spirit. For y'all don't know this, we talking about God here, okay?
Yes, right.
Because that's how I live my life, by biblical principles.
Yes.
Nowhere near perfect. Nowhere near perfect.
Girl, we fall short time. We before we pick up.
Yes. But the thing about that is, growing up in church, everybody, you know, if you're called by God, or if you're called by God in a spiritual capacity, know that there are two sides to your gift. This is where people fall short. There are two sides to your gift. So when you develop a relationship through communication is the key in all relationships, yes, natural and spiritual. So when you get in that, when you start communicating with God and he begins to communicate back with you, and you begin to take those baby steps in trusting what he said, and faith is just applying action to the word that you receive. So once you start to become, you know, develop your spiritual relationship through prayer, through communication, and things like that, there is also a natural gift that you have. Okay, so your gift, like Katie is a writer. You know, she's an excellent writer. That is her natural gift. She's a wonderful mother. That is an amazing gift. Okay.
From your mouth.
The gift of patience, honey. Okay. But we have to understand that there are two sides to every gift. There's a natural side and a spiritual side. Now, if you grew up in church, attended church, or any form of religion, any form from Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, if you're Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, Pentecostal, you know, whatever religion that you grew up in, the highest achievement or calling in a religion is to be a minister of that religion. Is to be a monk, is to be a prophet, a priest, an evangelist, a preacher, a minister, to be a pastor. However, the misconception comes in that God can only use people inside of the church. And for me, I knew that God was calling me to help, to speak life, and to minister to people. When I was younger, I was like, am I going to be a preacher? I'm like, Lord, like, let's start here. Y'all see this? I got red hair. These lips. Like, I am not, like, they gonna stone me if you put me past the pulpit. My skirts don't come all the way to my ankles. And I got too much cleavage. Lord, is this what you, like? But in that, you have to recognize that, okay, this is who I am. And that was my spiritual side. So from the natural, I always like beauty. Like beauty was my thing, like hair. Like I saw like the transformation in a woman when she come in and her hair is done. It just really lifts her spirit. And I knew, and it lifted my spirit as a teenager. So I was like, oh no, this is what I have to do. And people would tell me, because I grew up Pentecostal, honey, you didn't wear makeup, you didn't wear lipstick, you didn't go to the movies, you didn't listen to secular music. Like, this is how I was raised. So to say, oh, I'm going in the beauty industry, but my religion taught me you shouldn't wear makeup. So you have to know who you are. You have to know, and that's where the relationship comes in, because those were people who set those rules up to say, to be close to God, you have to look like this, do this, walk like this. And God said, that ain't so. Okay.
That's right.
So that's number one. Then my natural talent for beauty. So, and as I pursue my talent, people would just gravitate towards me and talk to me. And I would just tell them like my journey, like my story. I was very authentic, and they trusted me. And I would just, like you said, just speak life and speaking life. Like, I'm not gonna coddle you, girl. Look, like, for real, like, you need to get your life together, because you playing, like, you know better than this. Right. So right. So that's the only way I know how to give it. And I was just authentic, and you could do what you want, but that ain't gonna work. Like, because it just goes against certain laws, and it's not going to work. So in that, I found that by doing what I loved, okay, so it's two parts to it: developing a relationship and doing what I love. They meshed together at some point in my life, and a light bulb came on. It's like, oh no, like, this is it. Like, I'm in my gift. I'm in my calling. Like, I minister to women every day. Like, because people come to me who are hurting, broken, because beauty is uplifting, and the external change is a quick fix. Right. Right. If you put on some lipstick and you look a certain way, you feel a certain way. Right. So in that, women coming to me for a quick fix, who are hurting, who are going through challenges, who want to make changes in their life that don't exactly know how, by me using my natural talent and what I was passionate about, then I get to work on the soul. Because you with me, a lash appointment is 1-on-1 for 1 hour, and it's really like a therapy session. And we really get to delve deep into, like, what's going on with you, and just talk. Right. And just talk. Like, it's really a judgment-free zone. Like, it's a judgment-free zone. And it's about you being better as an individual, because everybody is at a different point in their life, and I do not shove Jesus down nobody's throat. Like, a lot of my clients don't even know anything. We don't even talk about religion or what God or whatever. It's just about the sound advice. But I know where my sound advice comes from. Right. Okay, so it's not about wearing a Jesus badge on your shoulder, on your forehead. Right. It's just about really having a heart. I have a heart for women, and I really want to see women progress and to love yourself and to do well and just be happy. And whatever it is but we do have a purpose. We all have an individual, unique purpose. And I find that a lot of us abort our purpose, and we take on a false sense of purpose from society, of who we should and shouldn't be, as opposed to who we authentically are. And if you spend some time with me and that gives you just a small idea of maybe I should, I've done more than enough, so it's just about joining those two things together, not trying to figure it out, let it go and let it flow. Like, you're not gonna have everything figured out. Just go with what you know. And real quickly, I remember when I was making a transition in my life, and starting over after a divorce. And I'm driving in my car, and I knew I wanted to have a salon, have a business. I ain't got no money. I got $0. I didn't got fired from my job. My car didn't got repossessed. Okay, I ain't got. You're like, I'm starting over. I'm divorced. I'm in Atlanta, and I'm like, okay, what we gonna do? And here's what it is. And I said, all I know how to do is work. This is what I told God. I said, my father was a very hardworking man. And I learned my work ethic from him. I said, all I know how to do is work. That's it. Like, I know how to work and I know how to pray. Okay. That's the totality of my life experience. And you got to go down to the basics, to the simplicity of it all. I can work and I can pray. That's what I got. Okay. So, I said, that's what I'm going to do. And I went and got two part-time jobs and worked on my salon, and when I was not working at my business, I was working at another job. And when I wasn't, and I was praying, and I'm like, so do what you know how to do, walk down that path, and things will grow and develop. Life is not roses and fairies and moonbeams all the time. You could create that in your journey, because joy comes from within, but you got to be happy when you got $2, and you got to be happy when you get, you know what I mean? When you got $20, $2, $20,000.
That's right.
It's internal, and you have to know that it gets better. Things will happen, and throw the timeline out the window. Just real talk. Just throw your timeline out the window. Get up every day. Tell the Lord thank you, and go to work. Everything else really will work itself out.
Yes.
Along your journey, you will hear something. Somebody will say something. You got to be open. Somebody may recommend a book. Read the book. Somebody may recommend a class. Take the class. Because you don't know everything. You don't know. This life, the reason why they call it a journey, because you learn stuff that you need to be successful in life along the way. You don't come into this life knowing everything. And that's the problem with young people. Y'all think y'all know everything. Y'all ain't got it halfway figured out. Like, real talk. Look, you look at Instagram and social media, and you see one person that made $1 million by the time they was 21, and you compare yourself to one person who been working since and let's take Beyonce for instance. That girl knew when she was 5, 6, 7, something, that she was gonna be a singer. She did singing camps. Her father woke them up. She was practicing at 6 o'clock in the morning at 13, and running and jogging and dancing and working 12-hour days. Okay. And she did that for years. She did it for years.
Her journey.
She did it for years. Okay. That was her journey. So if depending on how old you are, when you wake up in the morning, you just add on her whole career. When you start working them 12-hour days, and when you get up and you switch your mindset and you start making them changes, because until you change, nothing will change. You got to change. You have to change. It ain't everybody else. You the problem.
Yeah.
You the same woman who was with your baby daddy and it was a problem. You the same woman when you was married, it was a problem. You the same woman who got an attitude and then got fired from that secretary job about 3-4 times because you can't stop cussing folks out. You are the problem. You change you, and everything around you will change.
Yes. Oh, girl, you know what? Everything you said will preach, baby. It'll preach. All of it will preach. This is just wisdom and gems and coming from, thank you for being so transparent and sharing that, because there are some people right now who probably listening or watching this right now, and they're probably thinking, well, I don't have a job. I don't have any money. I've been laid off. I've been furloughed. I don't know where my opportunity out of this pandemic is going to come from. But your words of, car repossessed, divorced, in a new city, because you came from Chi-Town.
Yeah, and hold on.
Here.
We ain't even touched on the fact that 2 years before the pandemic, 1 year before the pandemic, I can't keep up because I'm working, okay? But anyway,
right.
I lost. So in the past 7 years, not only was I divorced, moved to a new city, car repossessed, no job, I also, in that 7 years, in the year before the pandemic, lost my father and my youngest sibling.
Yes.
Now, if I could sit here on this camera with this and a smile on my face, baby, you can't tell me that you cannot get up out the bed in the morning, put one foot in front of the order, and produce something. You do not have to move the world in a day. Move the needle, move the dial. One step forward. Just get up and take one step forward, and there will be more space. If you take one step every day in 365 days, you have more space between your anxiety, your depression, and your despair, to where you could look back and you could talk about it with a smile. But you got to move. Nobody is asking you to run the world and create this big empire overnight. What we are asking you to do is to get up, be thankful that you're alive, and make one step forward. Just one, and that will change your life.
Yes. And it's all about, I love it, connection, because the first part of that step is that prayer time. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be eloquent. You're not some theologian or ordained minister. They coming from.
I misquote all scriptures.
It ain't even like that. It's literally like we're talking now. That's how you talk to him. Yeah. Literally, because he's your friend. So that's first. Like, Lord, what am I gonna do? That sometimes I literally say that, like, Jesus, did you see that? What we gonna do? What did you hear them? How we gonna have? And but it's a relationship. That's what you have in a relationship. But you said something else that was so beautiful when you were talking about that. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because, and that's where we all come in the kingdom. That's where you're ministering to women, because you've accepted your gift from God and you've used that gift as a ministry to women and so many. It's okay to ask for help. It is nothing wrong with saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. Or I need some money to spot me to be able to stay in my place. Ask for help. No matter what it is.
And can I
go ahead?
Interject on that, asking for help. Women, young ladies, look. Stay off your back. Because see, when y'all need help, the first thing you do is you want to go out, you want to get your sugar daddy, and you want somebody to fund your dream. That ain't how you do it. It ain't gonna last that way. You have to work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have ruined your dream of Prince Charming coming along to save you and put you in a Rolls Royce, Bentley, and Chanel bags, and how you live in this fabulous life. Honey, he ain't coming. Go to work. I love it. On your purpose. Don't go to McDonald's now, because they ain't paying nothing. Work on your purpose. Purpose. And he will enable you and gift you and assist you along the way as you work.
Yes. I love it. Yes. On purpose. We are all here on purpose.
Yes.
Period. That's it.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. That is it. I love it. You have been such a blessing. This has been such a great conversation. Anybody, if you're at that point, whether it's a business, being an entrepreneur, or you're not sure you've got it, because we talked about it last week in a pandemic birth. You're pregnant with something. God is putting this in you. He's using this pandemic time for so many things. And I say it every week. I'm going to say it again. I want to get everything out of this pandemic except COVID. Everything that I'm supposed to get spiritually, everything that I'm supposed to get mentally, the money that's going to be, everything, the blessing other people, whatever it is, I want to get it out of it, because this is a time, this is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual place that we're in with the pandemic. We haven't seen it before, but no, we haven't. Because if we had, there would be some textbook on how to get through it and what to do and do this next and do this. There is no document that tells us how to get through it. So all we have is to be able to lean on God for that. And it's a time. This is a growing time, a birthing time, and to go to that next level. And I have seen you go to that next level, and it's just been beautiful. So I'm going to be quiet, because I want you to tell the people all this work you've been putting in, where they can find you, how they can get lashes, how they can come have a house call done. Your makeup line, don't leave nothing out.
Okay. Well, if you would like to, I do lash appointments Tuesday through Saturday in Beaufort, Georgia at Blink Eyelashes. You can reach us at the website, which is www.Blink-Eyelashes, that with the ES.com, BlinkEyelashes.com. On that website, you could book you an appointment for lashes. You can get a look at our product. We do have our own lash line. You can also take a look at some of the other products we provide. We have our own lip gloss line. And we just have different products to help you excel in your business. We also do wholesale, which is something that, shout out to my mama, she suggested that I do. Ladies, if you are interested in your own lip gloss business, we have a kit right here that if you want to learn how to make your own lip gloss, you can just purchase this kit, and it has everything in it that you will need to get started. It has the base, the pigment, the tubes, just to try it out. If you are a crafter and you wonder, how do I make cosmetics? This kit is perfect for you. If you know somebody in your life that they have a passion for it, you can check it out. It comes with instructions. It's really easy to use. You can also get this on BlinkEyelashes.com. We also have Prima Donna Culture, which is a clothing line. That's www.prima, Prima, Donna, that's one word, culture.com. And we have lots of clothing, accessories, all for women, no matter what your age. If you want to be cute, check us out. And just as a sample, this is from our new collection here. I'm a city girl at heart. I don't know if that's too much light. If you can really take a look at it. But I'm definitely a city girl at heart. So we have this graffiti collection going on with handbags and accessories. And if you're interested in any of that, you can get it at primadonnaculture.com. As I said before, I mean, shop with me if you like, that's great. But if I say anything on this channel that will help you make a step forward into your purpose, it's all worth it.
Oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Vita. Yes, it is. And you know what? We're going to bless the people with the kit. So what we're going to do, me and you going to figure out how we're going to choose. But when you get in the comments, when we drop this, and you get in the comments on, let's say, Instagram. Let's just go ahead and just pick a platform. When you get in the comments on Instagram, and all you have to do is do a hashtag, I'm ready for my purpose. Hashtag, I'm ready for my purpose. And Vita, we're going to get that kit to you. So Life Can Be a Niche is going to sponsor you with a kit so that you can get started. If that's what you see as your dream, or if you want to bless someone else with it, tell people about it. We're gonna get somebody walking in there. One step. We're gonna get that purpose, y'all. And girl, and I got to see that graffiti bag, because that's me. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it, but it looks like it's something neat that I need to rock with my jean jacket that I got from you. So we're gonna have to check that out too, y'all. Y'all, this has been such a blessing, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope you know, if it was just one thing that you heard, you know, share it with other people and let people know, because Vita is, as she said, ask for help. She's willing to help. So if you're interested in the beauty industry or in the lash industry, you know, get at her in the comments and reach out, because that's another thing that I've seen so many young ladies who say, I'm interested in doing lashes, and they come and they work with you, and you have literally like shown them how you make a successful business grow. And that is something that you don't see that in business all the time. That is a kingdom gift, because when people are doing a business, who teaches people how to be their competition? Somebody who's already in their purpose and already knows what God has for them is for them. And that's what Vita does. I can't say I just love you to death. We go way back before COVID, baby.
I took Cadillacs before flats.
That's right. way back. And this has been a blessing and a journey. I'm inspired by you and just in all of the way you move. When I say this is the hardest working woman, Lord have mercy, I'm like, Vita, when I call you, girl, what you doing? I know you're working. It is. She is working on something, but working in her purpose, and that is such a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me
and being with us. I know we kept you a little longer than we was supposed, because I know you got somewhere to be, because girl, she be working, and then, but you know what? Enjoying life too. There's a balance. Because I will say that you do make sure that you also give to family and time with your family too. And as I'm not going to hold up the family brunch not one more minute.
Okay.
Go ahead and wrap it on up. Y'all, thank you for riding with us. You got all the information of how to find Vita and her products. As always, I want to thank you for riding with us in the show and coming into the living room and doing life with us. Remember that tea of the episode was Judgement. If you even have time to drink tea, now we've heard from Vita, you might not even want to sit down and drink your tea, or you may want to drink your tea and work or whatever.
On the go, drink it on the go.
Drink it on the go. That's right. Drink it and type at the same time. However you guys get it, just get it.
Just get it.
Get it. It's time to make a move. It's time to walk in your purpose. It's time to take the pandemic time and the time that we're not out and about and doing all the things we normally do that may distract us. Now's the time. You still got time to get what you can get out of it. And just thank you again. You know you can get at me on social media at Katie Bryant Writes on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The blog Life Unfolding, KatieBryantWrites.com. Check out the blog, and be sure now on Instagram, if you're interested in beauty, and this is homemade, these are all like organic products. This is you doing it yourself. This is a kit. If you're interested in that and you're interested in going for your own beauty product line, get on Instagram. When we post, just follow us, and when we post it and drop it in there, get in the comments and make sure that you put that hashtag, and we'll remind you again of what to do, and you will get a kit to get started and start walking in your purpose. Thank you again. Can't thank you enough. YouTube subscribers, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you put the notifications on so you know when we drop something new. And be sure that you are good to yourselves, and make sure that you are good to each other. And I will see you when I see you.
Deuces.
Get to work.